What's up? It's Andy. It's Monday, and I didn't even get to come on here on Friday and pat myself on the back like Barry Horowitz after giving you guys that nice Raker's Delight on Thursday, because before I went to bed, I went to check the schedule, and I'm looking and I'm checking for some NHL lines to figure out what I want to give you guys, and I'm just seeing nothing. So I opened up a different sportsbook app. I'm seeing nothing. I'm like, what is going on here? Is there some sort of reason? There's a delay with them posting the games. And then sure enough, I learned that there is a grand total of 0 games on Friday and then 16 on Saturday, because that's what you want to do. That's how you want to maximize the amount of eyes on hockey, by putting absolutely 0 games on a Friday and then stacking a bunch at a time on a Saturday where somebody can only watch a certain amount. It's those NHL scheduling masterminds who will put 10 games on at 7, 0 at 7:30, and then 2 at 8, and you're just lingering around for 20 minutes when you can be switching to a game that started at 7:30. But why would you do that when you can have people lingering around waiting for the commercials? Anyway, here we are on a Monday. If you came over to my Instagram profile on Friday or Saturday, you saw, because I didn't know that there was going to be no games, I gave out a couple picks. It's actually not going to be too dissimilar from a couple nights ago. I like the Islanders and Penguins to win because they need it, or they're essentially eliminating themselves from the playoffs. This is playoff life for them versus two teams who are playing for nothing. It's really important to score first in games like that. And then thirdly, I'll go to that Nashville under, and all 3 came through for us on Saturday. So once again, hate to say it, but it's going to benefit you coming into this Monday hot. Absolutely. And if you weren't following me on Instagram, I don't know why, you would have had those picks there for you. In fact, I'm going to give you one more pick there tonight. I'm going to give you an extra pick, not given in this video, to incentivize you guys to go over there. So in the event that something happens, like Friday, you guys can get some Saturday sniffs over there every once in a while. Sounds like a nice deal, because I know everyone who was following over the weekend, they got their fair share of sniffs in. So it's at Andy Francis. Be sure to check it over there. That's also where you can get the sniff drip before the playoffs start. I'll have my website running by the time playoffs start, but until then, you can get that shop right on the front of my store. Andy, stop with the marketing. Okay, you want me to start with the marketing? Then why don't you go to Bet365, create a new account, bet $1 on something, and you get 200 in free bet credits. You want to take any one of these teams tonight? Give me a nice fat favorite tonight. Who's a big favorite? Give me someone. Who is it? Oh, the Kraken. They're huge favorites. Bet 1 on them. You get 200. You just got to be a new user on the platform, over 21, located in a state or province where sports betting is permitted. And if you got that problem, you're screaming at me to get through this, then you might have to call 1-800-GAMBLER. Or go take the Kraken. I just told you, the Kraken. Well, really, what's going to happen, the series of bets that I like today, I came into March with a strategy, but March ended up being a bunch of ruckus. But finally, at the very end of March, when there's a week and a half, 2 weeks left, finally, me taking the teams who need the points for playoff ramifications, whether it's staying alive or making the playoffs or getting first in the division, those are the teams who are coming through. Thursday, I gave you the Islanders, gave you the Penguins. Want to know what I gave on Saturday? The Islanders and the Penguins, because they were in the same exact situation. They needed to win to stay alive, and both of them did that handily. 4-0 for the Islanders, and it was like 5-1 for the Penguins. So I'm looking at more of those, and nobody fits that bill like the Seattle Kraken. You see what they're doing? Because of the LA Kings on a big schneid right now, you got the Kraken right under them in the standings. And I know they've played these Arizona Coyotes a couple times in like the course of a week. Both of those games, I believe, coming up in Seattle. Now they have to go to Arizona. But guess what? I told you the jig is up with them. After I saw San Jose crack them, I said that's it for them. They're about to get waxed the rest of the season. And that's exactly what's happened. I'm looking for that to continue against the Arizona Coyotes. But that's not really my favorite pick of the night. My favorite pick of the night is those aforementioned Kings, who, after that huge winning streak at home, that great homestand, they're just losing left and right. And we've been betting against them kind of left and right. We picked them to go up to Canada and lose. We took them that one time against Edmonton, but they lost that one. They lost another one to Colorado. And now, do you see who's right under them? 2 points under them, the Seattle Kraken. They're going to play well and do everything they can to win this game against Vancouver. The only difference is, this isn't the Avalanche in their building. This isn't Edmonton in their building. This is a very beatable Vancouver team who had a nice stretch in March. They're one of the teams who screwed a lot of bets. but this is the last week of the season. They can see, you see the green around this room? That's what they can see as well, the green on the golf course. And I'm thinking the LA Kings are absolutely going to find a way to win this one. So give me the LA Kings. And I get it. You're saying, my God, Jesus, these big... Yes, the big money favorites are big money favorites for a reason. They really need to win. And I think you're just going to have a disparity in level of desperation with teams who may mentally be checked out and teams, I've been hoping for this all of March, but since I've finally be able to enjoy the fruits of those sniffs in these last couple of days, I'm going to continue to do that. So another team who fits that bill is the Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg, they beat Nashville 2-0 at home. They had that loss against Calgary, but before that they were scoring goals on offense, won a few at home, beat the Devils at home. They had a couple good wins at home. So other than that one little slip up against Calgary, which is keeping things interesting, actually been playing well at home. They have another winnable game, very winnable game against the Sharks, who I told you to bet on the Avalanche against them on Thursday. I said, I get it. They won by 1 and over. This is going to be just like the Coyotes back-to-back with the Colorado Avalanche. It's going to be one tight one and one beating, just in reverse. You got the tight one first, then it was an absolute beating. Jig is up for San Jose up there in Winnipeg. I'm going to take Winnipeg coming off a shutout to beat the San Jose Sharks because they need to win or else they may not be in the playoffs. And with no time left, there's no time to futz around anymore. No more messing around. They have to win this game, and I believe that's exactly what they're going to do. So give me the Winnipeg Jets in that one. Now, as you saw a couple nights ago, the Florida Panthers almost lost to the Washington Capitals at home. Those Washington Capitals have rat potential. And although I would love to see the Islanders make the playoffs, I'm not going to flat out take... I do think the Islanders are going to win. If you see Ovechkin not playing, then I would feel way more confident. I would say, okay, you could take the Islanders. But what I'm going to do is take the under 6.5. It's at 5.5 or 6, but I would prefer you to bump it up. Yes, don't you know? Bump it up. And get that to 6.5. Any of these teams who are fighting for lives, they're going to try to be responsible in their own end. There shouldn't be shootouts going back and forth with those teams who desperately need points. And you're seeing that left and right with a lot of these scores. So I'm going to take the under 6.5 in that one. But because I don't feel comfortable enough for the Isles to win that one, I'd rather combine it with any one of those money lines I gave you. I can even combine it with the Minnesota Wild, who can still catch the Stars. Don't do it with the Stars. They're one of the teams I'm not trusting tonight. But another one you can do it with is the under 7 for Toronto versus Florida. As you saw with Florida, that was a 2-2 game in the third, ended up 4-2 because they scored in like the last minute in an empty netter. Game before that, remember the Buffalo game? That was a big under. The odds of a team who needs to make the playoffs getting in a massive shootout, it seems very unlikely. And as far as Toronto goes, I think this is going to be a dry run for the playoffs. So they got O'Reilly back. Everyone's going to be playing in this one. I think this is a good test before they take on Tampa because this is a desperate team in Florida who needs to win. So I wouldn't take Florida. So let me give you some of my potential rats. Florida can be a potential rat with Toronto going in there, but I think you kind of know that. Dallas is the other. See, Dallas needs to win to keep the pressure on Colorado because they're right there. They're right under them. But it's a potential rat. I think that line is a little snaky. I am going to stay. I could be wrong about that one, but I'm staying away from Dallas. And then another one is potentially the Islanders because you saw how Washington played Florida last game. Do think the Isles are going to win, but that's one that I'm just scared to take flat out unless Ovechkin is ruled out of the lineup. So those are some of the rats that I kind of see on that board potentially. And one more that I'll do the Minnesota Wild. If you want to go bet 365 on me, I'm going to go Minnesota Wild to win. Cyril the Thrill Kaprizov over 3.5 shots. Why is that? Because I think this guy wants to pot one before the end of the season, before they go into playoffs. I think he's going to be firing a bunch of pucks to the net, and I do think he's going to register a point. So if you want to take the Minnesota Wild with Kaprizov to register a point and have over 3.5 shots on net goal, one of the beautiful things about Bet365. Lump those together, that will give you a solid plus money bet. And the funny thing is, if he's scoring, usually Zuccarello's involved with that. So you can even add Zuccarello to register a point. Throw those all together in one big one, but that's the extra. That's the extra one. Even if you just do over 3.5 shots for Kaprizov and combine that with Minnesota, that's a plus money bet right there. So those are the picks that I got for you. Got one more for you that I'll chuck on my Instagram later on. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. Make sure you're subscribed to the OddsShopper channel here, and I will be back with you tomorrow to talk Tuesday sniffs. It's the final week of the regular season. Buckle up, because playoffs are just about here. I will see you tomorrow.